Morning. It's a little frosty out this morning, but I gotta take the shredder off this tractor, hook onto the disc, because today I'm gonna disc a field for the first time in 5 years. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna disc that field for the first time, but it has been 5 years since I have ever disced a field. Some of you that might sound crazy, some of it maybe not. What I mean by disc is just that disc over there, turning the ground over. We don't do that ever, hardly ever. The only time we do that is when we get a different field, or in my case, we need to bust up some ridges that are just not working for us anymore. So, it's crazy. Ow. So, first thing you gotta do is get this off, but we gotta clean this mess off and blow that mess off so I can get to everything, because it's a mess. Just getting started. So the rows run like this, and we're on an angle. We're running a 7-degree angle. Trying to think back to what it used to be when we do it, and I always thought it was 7. So that's what we're doing. We're doing 7. So I was disking, and all of a sudden I felt a little like bump. I was like, huh, that was weird. And then I looked behind me and I found something. Hey. Are you okay? Oh. Huh. Huh. I think I'm missing something there. Oh. I give it a 3 out of 10 to get to the other end of the field. I said I found reason 6,972 of why we need a new disc. One of the wheels fell off and I ran it over. He said, it's on the wing, it'll be fine. Yeah. We ain't ever getting a new disc. So I kind of been thinking about changing the brand of the channel, and I kind of want everybody's opinion on it. So the actual brand, cattle brand, would be the same. It's still Jesse Merman. It's my personal livestock brand. However, the JM Farming cattle, I was thinking about changing that. I've never been a real big fan of it. I just came up with that for YouTube when I made my channel. I was trying to think of some different names, and that's just something that I came across. But ever since I did it, I've always kind of regretted it, because like it's kind of long and drawn out, you know, like JM Farm and Cattle, and it just hasn't always been my biggest fan. So I was thinking about rebranding the channel, renaming it to Merman Farms. Kind of just simple, to the point, you know, a little easier to say, a little easier to work with. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below what you like. If you think I should leave it the same as JM Farm and Cattle, or if you think I should rebrand it to Merman Farms. I'd like to hear you guys' feedback. Something I've just kind of been thinking about. I do want to say that whatever I decide to do, I'm definitely going to listen to all your guys' opinions on it, because you guys are a part of this. But whatever I decide to do, I don't want any hard feelings or thinking that I'm not paying attention to what you're saying if you could vote for the opposite of whatever I do. And I'm just kind of torn, so I need you guys' opinions. Help me out. Woo! Alright, so let's fast forward a couple days, and welcome back. Well, not really welcome. So, what we have going on today, the other day we did a bunch of disking and whatnot, and I ended up getting it done. I didn't finish it. A friend of mine from town, works at the co-op right beside my fields, and he was looking for something to do after work, so I told him to go run the tractor and disc, and he ended up finishing that field. There's only about 40 acres or so left, so he finished that, which is good, because that day I ended up weaning my calves and bringing them to the feed yard and then running water all these cows. And look at this. Yeah, that's right, there's snow on the ground. So with that being said, field work is pretty much done, because from here on out it's supposed to be in the 30s and 40s, which is still really hot for December. And the snow ain't gonna stick around long except for a couple days, because we're gonna be in the 20s. But field work's pretty much done, because it ain't gonna dry out enough that we're gonna be able to get back into the field. So it's a good thing to have that disc. I still have some shredding to do, which can pretty much do that whenever, because the ground, it's better to do that when the ground is frozen in order to chop the stalks up. Just works good. So one of my projects here is, when my driver was coming out of Kansas City, he said the rear end started banging and clattering. So I pulled my rear end apart. You can see there. And you can see some of the parts here, but here's part of the bearing. But the bearing inside of here went out because the thresher bearing washer goes right here and right here, and it got destroyed, which caused these gears to grind on top of a spider nest gear set, which is in the back of my pickup. So I had to order all new parts for that, and they're not going to be here till Tuesday. Today is Friday, and this truck has to leave Tuesday at lunch. So hopefully they come in Tuesday morning. I can throw that back together, get this truck on the road so he can continue trucking. The beast. I got to bring this tractor to the shop tonight and then bring my other one home. One after another. But first, we're gonna go feed, and then I gotta check oil and that front hub to make sure we're good to make it about 5 miles, and then road trip. So I took a picture on my phone last night of the paperwork I did for my rations, because I knew I'd forget my paper. Imagine that. So luckily I have it on my phone because I forgot my paper. So what we need, we're just feeding the cows, because the calves have a bale of hay and they still have feed left over from last night. I really want them to clean the bunk out before we get too much snow on it. So we need 968 pounds of wet distillers. This stuff is really heavy, so it doesn't take much to get your weight. Silage, we need 404 pounds, or until the scale goes to 1372. And just like that, we're done. Kind of thought about a vertical mixer, but I think for my operation, I got a good deal on this at the time, and I really don't think it's worth me trying to switch right now. We'll see this spring when I have a bunch of cows that are actually calving and lactating, and and the feed rations go up and I have bigger calves here. If it's something where I have to make 2 different trips with the feed wagon just to feed the same pen, I may look into getting a vertical mixer because they don't overflow as easy. But we'll see. Well, I guess the old girl's ready to go. Although I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm really sad to give this tractor up for a few days. They always leave the buckets off. They always take them off, so that's what I'm gonna take it home with me on that tractor anyways. I'm gonna need it for feed, and I have another one, but I like this one. This one better because it's got the silage screening. Oh! Should have stayed in the other one. This one's cold. Well, I made it back. Just got home, went to the shop and fueled this thing up. So that way, it was sitting on red basically, and I don't want to leave it on red because it's supposed to get really cold tonight. So the more fuel you have in there, the less chance of it to freeze over. Okay, see you guys later.